and I didn't believe it.
Okay, well that's good.
Does it really?
What you
How
believe
bad?
is extremely irrelevant to me, my
It's
friend.
not, because I don't know if you want it anymore.
It doesn't matter what you do or don't know.
Eddie Hearn interrupts Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn press conference, and shoved Eubank Jr. sets the scene for absolute mayhem. Hearn completely takes over the moment with his commanding presence and fiery tone, showing he is not backing down from anyone on that stage.
Long, Hearn.
No.
I don't want
You
to
keep
hear
your mouth
I don't know
closed.
how many times I'm going to say it.
Well,
you're
you're
not
gonna have
going
to
to
listen.
get. You're not going to get your speech
Because in our conversation-
it doesn't matter any way you weasel your way in. I am not listening to your bullshit.
You don't have to listen.
Things got properly tense as Eddie Hearn and Chris Eubank Jr. went face to face with words that could cut glass. You can feel the ego clash right there. The energy in the room completely shifted. Hearn stood his ground, refusing to be intimidated, while Eubank tried to assert control, but it was Hearn's composure that spoke the loudest.
Eddie,
It was the
you know I don't like you, right?
I don't know.
So if you know that, what on God's sweet green earth makes you think I'm going to sit here and listen?
Here is pure boxing IQ. He isn't just hyping his fighter, he's guiding him with the mindset of a general preparing for war. He knows Conor Benn's aggression is unmatched, but he's urging control, precision, and patience. That's the mark of a promoter who truly understands the sweet science.
You have to follow the weight classes. You have to follow directions and orders, and that's why we have weight classes. For 1 pound makes a huge difference. I mean, this guy was almost fainting trying to make weight.
Eubank Jr. sounds defiant here, holding firm against doubts from his own father. The tone is proud but slightly defensive, showing a man desperate to prove he still belongs. Yet while he talks about hunger and dedication, Eddie Hearn remains the one truly keeping this rivalry alive through his tactical promotion and steady leadership.
To fight? I don't think he wants me to fight in general, not just this particular rematch. I think he thinks that at 36 years old, I should be moving on to different things in this stage of my life. But that is a father worrying about his son, and he doesn't see the things I'm doing on a day-to-day basis in the gym. I'm still capable. I'm still hungry. I'm still loving, dedicating my life to the sport. So retirement is not in my eye line right now. He will be at the fight for this fight, and I would imagine that he will be, I don't know, he was publicly against me fighting in the last fight. I don't see that happening.
Bomac speaks with calm confidence, but beneath his words you can sense doubt. Saying Eubank is winning everything sounds like wishful thinking after the chaos that unfolded. Eddie Hearn, on the other hand, stands composed, knowing his fighter's mindset and refusing to let media noise dictate the battle ahead.
For me to ask you, but I'm going to ask it anyway, Bomac. Is there any way you can see that Conor Benn beats your guy?
No, I can't, for the simple fact that it's hard to beat the guy that already didn't beat you. I mean, I can see that Chris is beating him at everything, the press conference, the stare downs, the fight. To me, he got his number, and I think he's going to be in a better position coming into this next fight because Chris knows what to expect out of him.
Eubank Jr.'s aggression here sounds more emotional than strategic. His words are laced with frustration rather than focus. In contrast, Eddie Hearn's camp remains cool and calculated, channeling all that chaos into promotion and precision. It's clear who's controlling the narrative even before the bell rings.
Insect is a coward. He waited until I was cutting weight, dehydrated, and malnourished to come and step to me. And he showed his true colors. But at the end of the day, I'm not worried about Conor Benn. I'm not thinking about that guy.
Eddie Hearn fires back with control and conviction, cutting through all the noise. His focus is clear on discipline and professionalism while calling out Eubank's antics. This is classic Hearn managing emotion with logic and turning every controversy into motivation for Conor Benn and his camp.
Honestly, this guy has zero respect for anything. And I hope people can see through it. Some will, some won't. But if you can't see them, that's a lot of what happened up there was just wrong. So listen, we go to work and we're in to win the fight. It's going to be different this time.
Duke McKenzie gives credit where it's due, acknowledging the spectacle that Eddie Hearn built. Beyond the punches, it's the atmosphere and energy that defined that night. Hearn turned rivalry into theater, giving fans a modern classic that goes far beyond rankings or belts.
You know, like I say, the fight wasn't a letdown because it was a good fight, but as an event, you won't get a better event than that, and they'll have to go some actually to surpass that, or even equal that. Let's just hope they get the same turnout in terms of the numbers, people going through the live gate and watching that fight, because it was a great event. There's no ifs, buts, or maybes. You won't get world title fights that actually are a better event.
Coldwell sums up the chaos, perfectly acknowledging that moment when tension spilled over. But that's what Hearn does best, turning chaos into anticipation. He knows exactly how to walk that fine line between rivalry and respect, keeping the sport raw yet perfectly controlled.
I'm not surprised.
Does that cross the lane, do you think?
Yeah, it does. Listen, the presser was good. It was a great presser, back and forth, poking each other, but not too far. But once you get physical and you touch a man's face, then...
Johnny Nelson's take reflects the growing sentiment among fans that Eubank may have peaked. His movement, once sharp, now looks predictable, while Benn is brimming with energy and hunger. Eddie Hearn will see this as fuel, knowing that doubt sells and every whisper of decline adds to the fire. For Hearn, this is not just about a fight, it is about momentum control and narrative power. He knows exactly how to make people question Eubank's sharpness, while reminding everyone that Benn still has that youthful spark waiting to explode under the bright lights.
Personally, I just think the last performance of Chris, I thought you've got nothing left. You've got nothing. There's no more improvement on what I'm seeing there. And I know there was a weight issue and all the build up to it. I thought there's no more improvement there.
Does that mean you think do you think Conor Benn will be better in the second fight?
Yes.
Does that mean that you think that by him being better and there's no more left from Chris Eubank, that Conor Benn's able to bridge the gap,
yes,
get an outcome in his second fight?
Adam Smith hits the core truth of this rivalry. This rematch is not just another fight, it is a lifeline for Eubank Jr. If he loses again, the talk of titles will fade. Yet for Conor Benn, it is a chance to rewrite his story and silence those who doubted him. Eddie Hearn's genius is clear here because he has turned this clash into a battle of pride, legacy, and redemption. Every camera, every quote, every headline is exactly where he wants it, building the perfect storm before fight night.
Right, and I think Eubank Jr., if he gets this win, and there's a new lease of life maybe under Beaumat, 2026, maybe finally he could become a world champion, but he's got to get past Conor Benn first, and Conor Benn, not just hungry for revenge, he believes he can win this because of what happened first time round, because he went 12 rounds at middleweight, up in class, after a long layoff. Some people fancy Benn.
Tony Jeffries captures the intensity perfectly. This fight goes beyond tactics. It is raw emotion and unfinished business. Both men know one bad night could end it all, but Eddie Hearn thrives on moments like this where risk meets reward. He understands that boxing's magic lies in danger, in that feeling that one mistake could change careers. Hearn has built this into a modern rivalry of fire and pride, turning two fighters into symbols of generational conflict and control. Fans can feel it, the tension, the stakes, and the unspoken fear of what one punch might mean for either man.
This would sell out any stadium in the UK. I was going to see it in the world there, but probably not in America because that many people wouldn't fly over. It would sell out a lot. But the fight location still hasn't been announced yet, but I do know that it's going to be on September 20th. Now, as
Adam Smith explains it perfectly, chaos in boxing often becomes the fuel for excitement. A shove, a glare, or a word out of place suddenly becomes front page drama. Eddie Hearn knows that tension sells better than any poster. The press conference may have turned wild, but from a promoter's view, it could not have been better timed. The hype, the controversy, and the anticipation all feed into what fans truly want to see: emotion and edge. Hearn will now take that moment and build it into a narrative that keeps audiences hooked right until fight night.
Price is big for the casual fans. Do we condone it? I mean, in boxing terms, should that happen at a head-to-head? Of course not, but these things do happen. This is the fight business, and it's just made it even bigger, and we wait to see what happens next.
Nelson's assessment of Eubank's decline will sting his supporters, but it adds even more intrigue to the build-up. Those comments echo through every training session, reminding both camps of what is at stake. Eddie Hearn will take that criticism and flip it into motivation for Benn pushing pushing the story of youth rising over experience. It is a clever psychological play, framing Benn as the hungrier fighter while painting Eubank as a man fighting time itself. In truth, that narrative benefits the entire promotion, because when fans doubt one fighter, it only makes the other look stronger and more dangerous.
I do see improvement there for Conor, and I do think the results will be different the other way around in the next fight. I think it'll go the distance all over again.
Barry Jones highlights exactly why this rematch is so risky. Both men took heavy punishment before, and they know what is coming. Eubank still enters as the favorite because of his size and composure, but that might also work against him if Benn comes in sharp and fearless. Eddie Hearn knows the audience craves danger, and this fight promises just that. It is not just about who lands first, but who survives the longest under pressure. Every round will test willpower and conditioning, and Hearn is smiling because this kind of drama is what makes British boxing electric.
And so this fight can only harm him, because that was a hard fight, the first one. This one will be another hard fight, whoever wins, unless there's a real freak occurrence, not freak occurrence, unless someone gets caught with the shot really early, then it's going to be a hard night, which you still have to make Eubank the favourite again, like I did the first time. Tony
Bellew brings an honest breakdown of timing and momentum. Benn's youth and freshness make him dangerous right now, while Eubank may still be feeling the after effects of that punishing first encounter. Eddie Hearn will seize this window, knowing the longer they wait, the more it favors Benn's confidence and conditioning. For Hearn, it is not just matchmaking, it is strategy, the ability to read timing and emotion. The fight must happen soon, while the rivalry is burning hot, and both men have something real to prove in front of a crowd that craves blood and glory.
168, he ain't coming back down to 160, so it's got a very short lifespan, this rematch. It's got to be done, the sooner the better. If I'm being brutally honest, the sooner the rematch happens, in my opinion, it favours Conor Benn, because he's the younger fighter who's took less damage and has had a much lesser career with much less experience. For someone like Chris Eubank Jr, it's going to take a while to turn around, and it's going to take a while to recover, because that was a hard fight for him. He was shook a number of times, he felt the shot.
Dave Allen raises a major talking point that everyone in boxing feels deep down. The rehydration clause changes everything because it challenges safety and fairness. Eddie Hearn will understand that criticism, but he also knows the drama around such details sells pay-per-views. The weight conversation builds the tension further, making fans debate who will handle it better. Benn's body has adapted to new limits, while Eubank must balance size with endurance. These small factors decide big nights, and when it is all over, this clause could be remembered as the turning point that shaped the outcome of the rematch.
Whatever else, but they're just not the same size. Rehydration clauses should not be a thing in boxing. I know IBF have a £10 morning after ruling, but it's just not safe. The term rehydration clauses don't sound safe. Rehydration clause, just don't agree with it. Eubank's been up at super middleweight, and now they're going to drag him down to near light middleweight. I don't like it.
This is vintage Conor Benn, fiery, relentless, and unapologetic. He brings that raw fighter energy that makes him impossible to ignore. The tension between him and Eubank has reached boiling point, and moments like this prove the rivalry is real. Eddie Hearn does not need to sell this fight anymore, because Benn's emotion does it for him. Every insult, every stare adds heat to an already burning feud. Benn is not just trying to win a fight, he is trying to embarrass his opponent in front of the world. That confidence makes him dangerous and unpredictable.
It's happened. You know what happens when you have an agreement? Do you know what happens? You know when you sign a contract? Do you know what that is?
I didn't sign a contract.
Do you know what that is?
To fight you on
Do you know what that is?
I signed
Do you know what that is?
rematch you. I didn't sign.
Do you know what that is?
So
do you know what an agreement is?
Now the date is perfect.
But do you know what an agreement is? Do you understand?
No, I don't know what agreement is. What is it?
Well, you're an idiot, that's what.
Eddie Hearn once again shows why he commands respect in any room. Even when words get personal, he stays calm, using his charisma to control the situation while Eubank tries to act unfazed. Hearn knows how to handle heat without losing the crowd because he understands the theater of boxing. His confidence turns tension into entertainment and keeps the spotlight right where he wants it. That is why Hearn is levels above everyone else in promotion. He brings composure and authority to madness, making chaos feel calculated and giving every exchange the feeling of something bigger on the horizon.
He couldn't care what I say, and I couldn't care what he says. And we both
I don't think the comments were harsh.
Well, they were pretty harsh. I mean, scumbag is a. I mean, I don't really take any notice of you. You don't take any notice of me. if I was, everyone's different, aren't they? Like when he was saying it, I was actually laughing, but then I looked over at some people and they weren't laughing. So it depends. I'm probably a little bit more less old school.
As the voices of critics, fighters, and promoters fill the air, one thing becomes undeniable. This fight between Conor Benn and Chris Eubank Jr. has transcended beyond a simple rematch. It is now a collision of pride, legacy, and emotion. Eddie Hearn has carefully built the narrative using every ounce of drama to remind fans what true British boxing entertainment feels like. From heated press exchanges to questions of fairness and weight clauses, everything has led to this moment where excuses will vanish and only skill will speak. The energy is unmatched, the rivalry is personal, and the entire boxing world is watching to see who will rise when it matters most. If you are a true fan of boxing, this is the story you cannot miss. Stay locked in, subscribe now, and prepare for the most explosive showdown of the year.